Alright, hey again everybody. Continuing where we left off at. We just got done completing the whole halfway mark of the torso. So now what we're going to do is we're going to model in the head. So we're going to use a cube. Okay, well our pivot point is off, so we're going to reset those settings, cursor to center, or just hit Shift C. And then we're going to bring in that cube. So we're going to bring in that cube. Oops, I forgot one thing. Control 1 to subdivide it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to modify the shape to get the bases of this character's head. Let's move some of these over. Just pull some of this down, and we're going to delete this part, delete the vertices, so that it opens it up. So now all we have to really do, well, let's go to our front view, and well, actually, let's make it a symmetrical model. And since I have my shortcut key for the mirror modifier, we're going to just do that. And then we're just going to shape these to be flat a little bit. And then we're going to add some geometry in the front. And then we're just going to adjust it accordingly. Almost like we're rounding off the shapes. And then we're trying to get where the chin's going to be, since she has a more triangular chin, and as you can see the reference image is very much off. So we're just going to take our own liberties and just modify it how we see fit. Okay, so as we're continuing on using our grab to continue on modifying, I just moving that off a little bit. I have a shortcut key for that. Alright, so let me see. We're going to add in another loop cut in here. I'm going to move this up. This one is going to be for our nose, and we're going to pull these ones in. So this just gives us a rough shape of how our nose is going to come out. See, if you rotate it, little basic shape, but you know, keep in mind it is a proxy, so you know, you can't be too hard on yourself on what it looks like. And then just adjust some things, adjust it like that. Well, I guess we can kinda just, you know, smoothen off some of these parts, like right there, and then we're going to just tweak it a bit more. We don't really need to do much to it, but you know, we want to keep it rounded, of course. So that's good enough. And I think I just want to extrude this down with the E key, and then we're going to use Alt M and at center, and then just round it off like right there. I don't like this right here. I'm just going to smoothen that out. There we go. Alright, and that's pretty much, well, it's a little horrible, but you get the idea. Just fine tune it as much as you need, and initially you'll have your shape for your character's head. So now we're just about that much done. Oops, I want to move this over a bit. Try not to put too much time into that. But you know, you can tweak it as much as you want on your own time, but just for the tutorial's sake, we're just going to leave it at that. Okay, so we have our basic head shape, and then we're going to add it to the other mesh. So we're going to Control J that, and now we have one complete side. Alright, so moving forward, Now we're going to start on the abdomen. I said something else, but abdomen. So we're going to use, I guess we're going to use a cube. The cube seems to be our hero of the day. So we're going to subdivide that. And we're going to go into wireframe, flatten it out with the scale on the Z axis. And then we're just going to move it up, do a little bit of a scale. Make sure our other view is not too crazy. And then with these other vertices, we're going to push it forward. And then we're going to take into consideration how her body, how the car or her form changes. It angles off of it. We don't want to ignore that too much, or else it's going to look very odd. So we want to obey some parts of anatomy, but you know, topology wise, we don't really have to worry about it. But thank goodness, right? Proxy mesh just lays out everything right for you and makes your life just that much easy. Okay, I mean, we can, if you want, you can just use your proportional editing to just scale that up a bit if it's looking too small for your taste, and then just adjust it in the other view, and then just angle it off so it has a little bit of a curve. And that's pretty much it for there. And then don't forget to get rid of the faces inside, because we don't really need them. And same with here, we're going to delete those. Okay, so we got that part done. And then we're going to delete half, delete the other half. Alt Control left click. Oops. Hit the wrong key. It's right click. Sorry, not left click, right click. And you'll select the whole loop. And then we're just going to add this onto the other part. There we go. So now we're going to add in the hips. And pretty much it's a straightforward thing. We're not really going to add the yeah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to subdivide this because we want to just maintain our box shape. Actually, yeah. Let's see. Actually, I will subdivide that. Sorry about that. So, okay, so what we're going to do now, select those faces, flatten them out again. And then we're just going to pretty much follow our reference and how a person's hips actually are. So we're just going to rotate that, bring it up. We're going to have it that intersects the mesh, the abdomen area. I don't know, I keep saying the wrong thing, but the abdomen. I'm a little off today. Gotta drink some water. Okay, so we're going to get rid of half because it's starting to become a little off. And I'm going to add a mirror modifier. I'm going to connect it back to the other one, but just for adjusting purposes right here. Oops, I don't want to do that. So, alright, so we're just going to rotate this a bit flat and put clipping on. Don't forget about that. And then we're just going to make it into the hip shape. And it looks like we lost our center line. So we're going to SX0 and also make sure that we fix it on our properties tab as well and put it on 0. That's just 2 ways to check it. And then we're just going to align our hips up. And then we're going to modify it from the side to make sure everything is pretty much decent. And it's not really much involved here. and just keep on adjusting. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. So now, oh, one thing, just gonna pull these a bit more to the side, and there we have it. Okay, so now we're done with the hips. I actually could bring it down, so I'm gonna do that. I don't want to leave too much of a open space. Alright. Yeah, that looks a little weird. Probably just, that's fine. Okay. Sometimes the tweaking phase of it, you know, you can get almost carried away with it. Alright, so continuing onward. So we're gonna just delete, turn this off. Oh, we already did it. So we're just gonna connect it. Control J, bam, we got both sides. Alright, so now we're just gonna hurry up and finish this off because we only got the legs and the foot. So that's the only thing we have to worry about. Alright, so with our cylinder, we want to use 8 vertices. You can hit F6 to check how many you're using. The default is like what, 32? So you're going to change yours to to 8. Alright, so now we're just going to continue on and get this whole shape of the leg. And I'm going to show you a little shortcut to avoid having to use 2 cylinders in a second. Let me just get this leg in the correct place, the correct thickness. Make sure it's on the mesh. Check it from all views because sometimes it can look a little weird if that, you know, happens. Okay, so we don't have to be that perfect about this. We could just move some of these vertices forward, but in this instance, we don't really need that. So we're just gonna use what we have and delete those faces. And then now we're just gonna start shaping it a little bit. Oops. And you know, just approximate how it is from the, you know, the reference drawing and line it up. Alright, so now that shortcut that I was telling you about, we're going to put it right here. I should actually just tilt this up. Alright, we have it right here in the center where the knee is at. We're going to press V, which is going to rip it apart, and there you have it. You just simplified your job of having to create more than one cylinder for the leg. I know, you could probably thank me later. Saved you some time. It's a new method that you could possibly use for your own workflow. And there we have it. So we're just going to continue on. Try to scale this up. It looks a little, yeah. And probably pull this down, scale it on the Y, and pull it out just to simulate the calf, even though it's like she has a huge boot. We're going to stop this where the foot is going to take place and just add a vertex just to be fancy. So we're pretty much done with that, and to complete things we're going to add, of course, as you know it, that isosphere. So we can just believe that that's the knee and it won't look like an empty space. Turn proportional editing off. Now, I mean, you can use it as an empty space if you like, but you know, that's just my my method I like to use. Okay, and I forgot one thing. Let me adjust this part. Since it's not too terrible amount of vertices, you can kind of just, you know, approximate everything. You don't have to try to get it that you know, that crazy, and keep on subdividing the mesh. Alright, so last but not least, we have the foot, and we're going to just simplify that 10 times. Simplify this like really crazy. Alright, so we got that. We're going to line it up a little bit, and then we're going to extrude, and then we're just going to shape. Add one more so it follows the contours. Add a loop cut, and we're going to shape it. Alright, go to our front view. Now it's looking very odd, so we're going to add one down the center. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shape these right here. We're going to pull them back and scale them inward a little bit. And with here, pull these out, our x-axes. Now we're just trying to round everything off to make it, you know, more round looking, as opposed to keeping it square like a box. And we're going to use W and use our loops tool and use circle, and then we're going to scale that inward a bit. Now we're going to adjust this a bit more, and then we're getting that much close to a foot, but we still have here, this is round this off, because this is your heel. And initially it's just a lot of tweaking you'd have to do. Now there is one spot that's definitely going to have to be put in there, or else it's going to look weird, which is the arch. So we're going to use our knife tool, cut that in there, and we're going to select these two vertices, and with ease we just pull them in, and that's it. That is all you have to do, and now your foot will look, it'll look, you know, a bit better than if you didn't add it. And then for here, we're just going to round things off. Pretty much scale this in, and to make things a little bit more crisp, I just want to scale these in. Try not to milk this too much, so let me just use Z, C, so we can just cut a straight line in, so that we don't have to do it on both sides. And then we're just going to merge these verts. Merge. We're clear on the back side, so all you have to do now is just tweak your shapes, because you're pretty much done. You're done now. This is too high up, so now you're not going to really need to add a what am I thinking, a subdivision surface, because, well, I mean, you're not going to, this is not meant for subdividing, although you can, but you know, you wouldn't, it's not necessary. What I'm trying to say, it's not even necessary to even go there. Alright, so we're going to add some more vertices right here, so that when it bends, just to simulate that. And the last thing we have to do is make it line up with our mesh and give it a little open space, like right there. Alright, we're running on like 19 minutes. Okay, we're just about done. So what we're gonna do now is add it to this group, well, to this object, with Control J. And we're going to finish off with here, Control J. And, well, I guess we can add the ponytail. And we're going to quickly do that by using, this is going to be a separate object. So we're going to do this with, a curve, path. And since, you know, we want to test this out for rigging purposes, I'm just going to, I'm going to delete some of these points, move this back. We don't need it to be terribly long. Like right here where it's indicated, that's going to start there. And we're going to delete some vertices, like right there. And I guess perhaps we can add one in the center. That's not bad. So we want to convert this into a ponytail shape. And we're going to do that by adding in a curve circle. And we're going to go back to our path, go into the object data, change our bevel object to the circle, and then we get a very big cylinder base shape, and then we just control it by scaling it down. There we go. So initially we're just about done, and then to really clarify this thing, I guess we can, now we're good there. So we're just gonna hit Alt-C and convert it to a mesh. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to make sure we're gonna clear off our transform, our rotation, location, and scale with Control A. That zeroes everything off, so that makes it that much easy to use our mirror modifier. And then all we have to do is just adjust our shapes to act like a ponytail, because it's the reason why it's like this is for rigging purposes. And one thing you wouldn't want yours to have all these geometry, but for now it's decent. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much how you build your base mesh. I hope you've learned some things here that you can possibly use. Oh, I said base mesh. Your proxy mesh, but you can use the same principles to make your base mesh as well. And initially, at the end of the day, everything's going to mainly revolve around tweaking your shapes. Use basic things, and with using your proxy mesh, that you can use triangles however you want, because topology isn't really a factor here, as you can see, because everything is not connected, so you don't have to worry about a crazy edge flow. But if you want to get technical, you can, but I mean, for the most part, it's going to get you some results, and then it makes rigging that much easier to test out and do some animations on the fly if you need it. So I hope you enjoyed that. There's going to be a bonus video on adding the the Rigify rig to this character that we're going to follow up with, and hopefully upcoming days. And then we're going to branch off to some new territory and try out some crazy things. So I hope you stay tuned and subscribe, thumbs it up, leave a comment, and just by all means, just share it with your friends. And let's get some conversation going on, and let's pretty much just help each other out here. All right, so see ya.